Hi guys, what's going on and welcome back to another video. So I think it's safe to say that we're not really much of a news reporting site on our YouTube channel, but this just seems to be one of those things that seems to have really gone unnoticed by most people in the games community and really doesn't seem to have been reported almost at all on YouTube. So I just wanted to create a video today just to very briefly touch on it and to give it a little bit of context. That basically Amazon Game Studios are working now with Athlon Games to do a joint Lord of the Rings open world MMO, a massive free-to-play multiplayer online game, which I think is really interesting, both because, one, I'm a massive fan of the Lord of the Rings, and two, of more recent months, I've been getting really interested in Amazon's other MMO, which they've been in development for much longer, New World. They've kind of been developing that for a while now. So obviously New World being the survivalist MMO, although actually from the stuff I'm seeing it seems to be PvP oriented, so it's a sort of a survivalist / PvP MMO, which has been under development by Amazon by quite a while and had some alpha testing sort of earlier in June, and hopefully will be going sort of more into closed beta at some point in the future, and certainly something that I'm going to want to be featuring a little bit on the channel, or certainly trying out and giving it a little bit of testing, because it's something I'm pretty excited about and hopefully could be a pretty decent game going forwards. Obviously, Amazon seems to have established a pretty decent development team, bringing in people from various points in the industry to make both New World, and hopefully it's going to be presumably the same team which is now going to be working in joint with Athlon Games on the new Lord of the Rings MMO. But we don't want to get too distracted by New World. We'll probably be having a separate video about that in future, and I wanted this video to be mostly focused on this news about the Lord of the Rings. Obviously, we had the original Lord of the Rings Online, which was released back in 2007, and the game is actually amazingly still seemingly getting updates and still seems to have a relatively active player base, despite the fact that from what the footage that I've seen, it seems to be getting pretty dated now. I did myself play this back in the day, although that was an awfully long time ago, and I haven't checked it out for at least sort of 6 or 7 years now. So it's pretty exciting that we're going to be getting some new Lord of the Rings content coming in the future. But given the fact this has only very recently been released, I think it's probably safe to say that this is a long way off, and it's not going to be quite a few years yet before we start to see any of the development work actually looking to start to come through on this stuff, considering as well that Amazon is still actually currently in development of New World. It's not actually yet even out. So they're still going to be focusing on that, I would have thought, to try and get that finished before they start to look at putting too much resources into focusing elsewhere. So at the moment we don't really know a lot else actually about the game. We don't really know where it's going to be set in Middle-earth. We don't know what era or period of Middle-earth history it's really going to be in. Although I think it is not a coincidence that Amazon is also in development of a TV series based on the Lord of the Rings. And I think it's probably not a coincidence that these two have both been announced at a similar time, and that Amazon has got the rights to help work with this game going forwards. I also find it interesting to note that in the article it quite clearly states that Amazon is going to be responsible for publishing and marketing the game worldwide with the exception of China. I think that's a good thing. Thankfully there's not going to be sort of a million different publishers on different continents, and with, as it says, with the exception of China, it's just going to be the responsibility of Amazon to manage the game. So that's really all I actually have for you today. I know this is obviously a very short video, but I didn't want to drag this out too long because there isn't actually a great deal of information about this, other than this short news story to say that this game is now in development and that Amazon is taking a key role in that development. I think I'm pretty excited about it, but I think obviously I don't want to peak on my hype too early, because I think it's going to be a long time before we start to see any more information on this. But if this was to come to fruition, you could easily see this being a pretty major game, particularly if they manage to pull it off well, but I guess only time will tell if they'll be able to do that. I would be very interested to hear what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Are you, like me, pretty excited about the prospect of a sort of a Lord of the Rings MMO? I know I certainly am. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel for any future updates on the Lord of the Rings and on New World, because we'll be certainly having a video on that. Thanks for watching the video, guys, and I shall see you all on the next one.